Regular people like us often forget that NBA players are human just like us and they make mistakes too. The difference is the whole world hears about their mistake. Over the years, there have been plenty of incidents that the NBA does not want their fans to know about. This video will cover some of the more interesting stories that have been swept under the rug and out of the public attention. Let's start it off with something that recently happened. It all started with an interview with Lana Rhoades, where she started to drop hints as to who her baby daddy might be.
So,
the father.
Yeah, he's not involved whatsoever.
Zero. Like money, nothing.
Nothing.
Oh.
No money. I'm not seeing Milo, anything.
Okay. And that's by his choice or by your choice?
Oh, no, that's his choice.
In a recent TikTok with her newborn, she wrote that she thought NBA players were nice guys after previously saying that she went on a date in 2021 with a Brooklyn Nets player who is a Libra.
I couldn't help but compare him to like other people that I had met prior, and I'm just like, this just isn't for me, which brought me to another conclusion. I used to date Libras consistently, and this man is a Libra.
At that time, guess who the only Libra was on the team? Kevin Durant. She's also been linked to Blake Griffin in the past, and the latest photos of the kid look strikingly similar to a young Blake Griffin. In the light of the recent issues the US has dealt with when it comes to racism, it seems impossible someone would actually say this on live television, but here we are.
Steal for Westbrook. Taking a bump. Russell looking for Ferguson in the corner for three. Westbrook is out of his cotton-picking mind.
The NBA does not want its fans to hear about this as it presents an awful image of the organization. Thankfully, the Thunder took action and terminated his contract. He was the play-by-play announcer for 10 years, but his journey ended at 10. Thankfully for the NBA, Westbrook decided not to make it a big deal and said he understands it wasn't okay. But that was all. The NBA really dodged a bullet with this one. In one of the most out-of-pocket things ever said over the air during an NBA game, legendary commentator Mark Jackson says he would hit her out of the park when referring to LeBron's wife, Savannah.
He said she was all city. James again from downtown. And I'd hit out the park.
Finishing it off with his patented phrase, "with all due respect."
No question, with all due respect.
As if that justifies what he just said. Maybe this is a sign of respect. As we all know, he is no threat to replace LeBron in any way. Moving to something the complete opposite, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was literally spending his days locked up in jail but playing in NBA games at night. In 2017, he pled guilty to a parole violation and had to serve a 25-day sentence, but he was allowed to be released for work. This meant that he could go to practice and games but had to spend the rest of his time in jail. This is one of the weirdest situations ever, and the NBA did not want this story to get out to the public because it could potentially ruin the public image. Not a lot of fans even know this ever happened. Gilbert Arenas has always been known as a wild personality in sports. Even in his days after playing, he makes content and attracts a lot of attention in the media. However, in his playing days, he was arguably even crazier. In the NBA, the card game Boo-Ray is the game. All of the guys play it, no matter if they are home or on the road. The game is meant to be played for money. And that is exactly how Gilbert played it. He and a teammate were playing on the plane one night and Gilbert ended up joining the game and doubling the pot, then winning and trash-talking the other guys. Things escalated and Gilbert ended up bringing multiple guns to the Wizards' locker room before a game. Thankfully, nothing ever happened between the teammates because the guns weren't loaded, but it could have gotten bad. Players and coaches are always trying to find a hole in the rules to gain a competitive advantage, but this is easier said than done. Just ask Jason Kidd. He tried to get an extra timeout in a close game to draw up another play by asking his player to hit his shoulder and he would intentionally spill his drink. Maybe he forgot that there are cameras everywhere in the arenas and he quickly got caught doing this. Not only did he get himself a short timeout, but he also got a $50,000 fine for it. And to make it worse, they still lost the game.
Taking a drink and whoa. Ice and cola.
Professional athletes are known to be arrogant and sometimes rude people, and Kyle Lowry lived up to this stereotype early in his career. Nowadays, he's looked at as one of the NBA's nice guys, but before this, that was not the case. During the NBA lockout, he was playing in a charity event and was charged with the battery of a female referee. He was being verbally abusive throughout the whole game and at one point threw a basketball at her, hitting her torso. The NBA covered up this one good as well and did not allow for it to be brought into mainstream media and is never talked about today when talked about Lowry. Truly a disgusting act that fans are uneducated about. On the list of the biggest meme NBA players, you will find J.R. Smith. We probably could make an entire video from all the moments that JR has given us over the years, but one of the craziest is this social media interaction with a fan. He just gets straight to the point, as if it's a late night text to an ex by saying, "You trying to get this pipe?" As it turns out, she did not want to get the pipe from JR and instead just wanted to talk to him. After this got out, he issued an apology and realized that he should probably watch what he says on social media because of his fame. Maybe he was off the Henny, because after all, his nickname is Henny JR. We can all admit that COVID brought things we have never experienced, and the same was true for the NBA when they were in the bubble. During the bubble, Jimmy Butler got a noise complaint for dribbling a basketball late at night.
The hotel that the Miami Heat were staying at, a security guard received a complaint of disturbance. There was a loud thumping going on. So sources told me that the security guard went over to investigate, found the room, knocked on the room, and who opened the door? It was Miami Heat forward Jimmy Butler, drenched in sweat with a practice gear on from head to toe. He was dribbling a basketball throughout his room the whole time.
But days after the report came out, it appears this was probably not the case. Him and NBA reporter Rachel Nichols had a little history together and apparently created more history one night in the bubble after recreating a dribbling noise. Shortly after, Rachel was fired for a racial comment, but this could have definitely played a role in it. Her firing basically erased everything she had did, which made it easier for the NBA to push this story away for good. Man, oh man, did we save the best for last. Paul George was dating Hall of Fame head coach Doc Rivers' daughter when he was traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. We all know LA is full of beautiful women, and Paul quickly found this out. Paul was found to be cheating on his coach's daughter with another woman, who he ended up getting pregnant from the affair. The story gets even better when he tries to pay her $1 million to abort the child, and she denies the money. She then begins to sue him, but they ended up coming to a settlement out of court. After all this, they ended up dating and just recently got married in an insane turn of events. Paul George is one of the faces of the league playing in LA, so the NBA wanted to keep this one tucked away from its fans. Now, if you want to watch more NBA videos like this one, check this video out right here.